Hello, I'm Jacob. These are the 5 most important things when it comes to chess. The first most important thing when it comes to playing chess is going to be raw calculation or evaluation. So I think everyone knows what this is. Calculation is basically being able to see moves into the future and calculate. And evaluation is being able to evaluate those positions, right? Like, is this good for me or is this bad for me? Am I getting checkmated? Is my opponent getting checkmated? All these things. The next most important thing is visualization slash comfort. So what do I mean by this? Visualization is your ability to, when you're in your calculation, notice all the tiny pawn moves, all the tiny piece moves, every little detail about the position, right? Comfort is like when the position gets very complex, you are comfortable in it. So when there's these endgames where it's like bishop versus knight and there's all these different moves, how comfortable are you in that situation? And can you sit down, focus, calculate things one at a time, right? Just take it slowly but surely calculate the endgame. The next thing is focus slash stamina. So what do I mean by this? Well, focus is when you sit down at the chessboard, are you focused, right? Or when you sit across from your computer and you're playing online chess, are you focused? Or across from your phone, whatever, right? And stamina is how long can you stay focused for? The next thing is mentality. So by mentality, I mean your ability to both kind of not be stressed and not be feeling any weird sadness, any fears, nothing like that. All right, we don't see ghosts here. And also your ability to not be too focused on external factors like rating, placement, and points in a tournament. More on that in a bit. That's what I mean by mentality. And the final one, it's kind of a similar thing to mentality, but it's more on the good side. It's motivation slash ambition, right? So are you having fun when you're playing chess? Simply, is this fun for you? Because if playing chess is fun for you, you are going to be like 100 times more motivated than the guy who's just doing this as his job, like, end games, openings. If you're having fun with these things, you're going to remember it better. You're going to be more motivated to do it. You're going to do it more than the guy who's unmotivated, right? It's a huge advantage to have fun at chess. So, how do we improve these 5 different things that I've named? Well, firstly, for raw calculation or raw evaluation, I think it's pretty simple for me to say. There's not much else to do than to simply play games to kind of improve on both. But if you really want to improve as fast as you possibly can, you need to be doing puzzles to improve your calculation, and you need to be studying end games, studying grandmaster games to improve your evaluation, right? Understand all of these small concepts like minor piece exchanges and bishop is better than knight and blah, 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 blah. So that's pretty much all I can recommend for improving that. It's not really anything new there. For the next thing, visualization slash comfort, the way you're going to improve this is doing specific endgames for your visualization and kind of comfort in complex positions, right? There's specific like knight endgames and bishop endgames where there's like a lot of moves with the pieces and there's only one way forward to get the win for the side that you're playing, right? Or to hold the draw or whatever. So if you really want to improve your visualization, you can do this. You can also play blindfold chess, which is kind of a jump in the complete opposite direction. But if you want to improve your visualization as best as you can, then just play blindfold chess. It's only calculation. You can't see the board. Only calculation and visualization. The comfort will come by itself if you study enough endgames and you understand enough positions, play enough chess, then you'll slowly but surely get more and more comfortable in these complicated positions. For focus slash stamina, if you're playing classical chess and you need to make your focus or stamina last, then you should just simply only think or calculate when it's your turn, right? because when it's your opponent's turn, they have like 3 different options to make, all this stuff. But when it's your turn, your opponent's already made the move. You just have to evaluate for yourself, right? What do you think is the best move? It's not exactly the most long-lasting advice. If you want to be Grandmaster, you're probably gonna have to cut this out at some point. But for normal chess players, like normal club level players like me and pretty much everyone else who doesn't have a title, this is some good advice, I think. For mentality, I actually have some pretty good tips on how to improve this. So when you're playing a classical chess game, my advice here is going to be mainly for classical, but it can also be used for other time controls. There's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety sometimes in like the body and in the mind, right? And one of the ways that you can fix this is firstly improving your health. So one thing that can be really good is eating a large meal right before chess games or eating during chess games. Surprisingly, the body is much better at handling stress when it's on a full stomach because it's kind of one less thing for your brain to think about, like, oh, we haven't eaten today, we haven't eaten today. It's just one less thing to build on the pile of stressful things, right? Another good thing can be exercise. Exercise can really make the body a whole lot less stressed, but I would advise you to probably do it the day before playing a classical chess game instead of like on the day, because on the day, if you do it right before the game, you're gonna end up being tired, or at least that's how I feel when I work out. I get like very, very tired in my like arms and in my limbs, and you don't really want to be tired for a classical chess game. You would rather be focused in the moment, all that stuff. Another thing for lowering stress and mentality is going to be meditation. So there's a very simple technique to know here, which is called the square method, right? That's not a square, that's a rectangle. Oh, oops. Oh, the square method, okay. um, the square method is basically 4 seconds in through the nose, then hold it for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out through the mouth, and then hold no oxygen in your lungs for 4 seconds, and then in through the nose again. And you repeat this process over and over and over again. And it sounds pretty simple, but it actually works out pretty well. The first like 5 minutes can be kind of difficult. It can be hard to get into a rhythm, like, oh, why am I doing this meditation? Also, if you're like playing classical chess, you can kind of be thinking like, oh, do these people think it's weird that I'm like opening my mouth to breathe? Just who cares about these people, all right? They're all bums anyways. They're worse at chess than you anyways. Um, Meditation is a really good thing to help you stay de-stressed and help you stay focused. I think there was like a Dr. K quote or something that I'm ripping here, which is kind of paraphrasing. The pace of thoughts is equal to the pace of breathing, right? There was some like really cool quote like that, which is basically meditation can slow all of these other thoughts in your brain, like, oh, have I eaten lunch today? Did I remember to brush my teeth? Like all of these, all of these weird, random thoughts coming up during a classical chess game. You just need to be focusing on the calculation and nothing else, right? The final thing for mentality, and before I get into this last part, I'm gonna say thank you to Andres Tooth. I, I got some of this stuff from him. All right, his name is Chess Coach Andres on YouTube, I think. Anyways, the last thing about mentality is not having a weak mentality. So this is essentially focusing on external factors, right? So when you focus on rating, you focus on your results in a tournament, you focus on your placement in a tournament, all of these things, it's going to have a negative impact on your mental. And realistically, the only thing that you should be focusing on is, are you playing good chess, right? And you should be focusing on factors that you can actually track and improve on. Like, okay, I want to do 1,000 puzzles this month. How many puzzles have I done, right? You need to be focusing on actually concrete, real things like this and not some delusion like rating. Somehow the chess world has convinced everyone that rating actually means anything for how good you are at chess. It really doesn't. The only thing that rating has anything to do with is who you play against, right? That's all rating does. It's just a system for who you are going to play against in a tournament or online chess or whatever, right? Rating really has nothing to do with how good you are, and I have no clue how this mistake in understanding happened. Like, rating really has nothing to do with how good a chess player is. It's just a number. That's it, right? If you lose 100 rating points and you go on super mega tilt, you're still the same player that you were when you were 100 rating points up, right? At your peak. You're just having a dry spot right now. It's not like, your rating is going down. Oh, now I'm a worse chess player somehow. That's just not how chess works. That's not how the brain works. And, if I play Magnus Carlsen and he hangs a queen, right, and resigns the game, and I go up 500 rating points, does that mean that I'm like 2,300 over the board? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, so rating is just not a real thing. You should really not be focusing on it. I get that it is easier said than done, but yeah, you really need to let go of this mindset that external factors have anything to do with how good you are at chess. It's just really not something that is true, and you will stay much more motivated and in a much healthier mindset if you simply focus on how you feel about your chess and not how some random number feels or how some random points tournament placing. Who cares about this stuff, right? The final topic that I would like to talk about is motivation. So motivation or ambition can be improved by, okay, it's gonna sound really weird, but taking breaks from chess when you're playing badly. Right? Like, when you're having a rough time, you don't want to continue to push yourself and push yourself and push yourself because you're gonna burn yourself out and kind of lose your motivation for a month or a few weeks or whatever, right? So you really don't want to do that. So again, this is some advice I ripped straight from Andres Tooth, so huge shout out to him. But having another hobby besides chess can be extremely helpful. So you want to have something like drawing, or it can be an outside sport, right? Chess is a very inside, isolated sport. Maybe you can play soccer like Magnus Carlsen, or you can exercise. Exercising, going to the gym, that's a great hobby. But you need something else so that when the chess gets, when the going gets rough, you can step back and come back to it when you're feeling refreshed, you're feeling better, you're feeling motivated again, right? And alternatively, when your chess is going badly, and you're having a really rough time, like, oh, I'm losing all these tournaments, I'm losing all this rating, which again, you shouldn't be focusing on anyways. A good thing can be to just step back from the competitive side of chess. So simply focus on openings, endgames, puzzles, maybe, if you're comfortable with, seeing the rating go up and down there. Just step back from playing against people for a little bit and focus on some things that you like about chess that are not competitive. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say on these 5 topics. Let me know if you agree with some of the things I said, or if you have any, good takeaways or good things to add. And make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Subscribe to the Chess Source Mafia.